We're in. We're starting. Okay. Hey everyone, Alex here. Welcome to my new channel. So, I'm just fixing last things. Check. Okay. Cool. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Alex here. Thank you for passing by. What I'm going to do, I'm going to learn programming. That's what I decided in 2022. And therefore, I started this channel because I wanted to share with you a real life experience. I know nothing about programming. Literally, I know zero. The only thing that I know is recently, a couple of days later, maybe last week, I started to search on Google and YouTube to see how is programming working, or like what's the deal, what should I do, where should I start. I found a lot of videos, a lot of articles, and I've read a couple of them and started to watch some videos here and there. And obviously, Python is one of the most common languages for programming. Most people, or like all the people that I saw, was recommended that just to start immediately without overthinking it, and throughout your journey you're gonna learn more and more, and then you're gonna see what exactly you want to work for. My ultimate goal, actually two things. The first goal is to share with you a real life experience. I want you to know what is gonna happen if you decided that you want to learn programming. This is a real life experience. Your experience might be better than mine. Depends on how quick you can catch things. I don't know. I don't know yet how fast I can learn. I don't know how many months it's gonna take me to learn each language, or I don't know. Like a lot of things might happen, and I'm gonna learn step by step with your support, guys. So I would appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. That would help me a lot to provide this knowledge for you. My second goal is, okay, so last year in August, I left my job, and since then like for the next month in September, I was lost. I didn't know what to do, where to go. Should I apply for other job? Should I just find any shitty job, or like I don't know. I was so lost, so confused. I didn't know what to do, and then I started to trade on the crypto market, Bitcoin and stuff. For like a couple of $100, I started, and I got like some decent profit, but I was surprised by this whole idea of blockchain and the applications within the blockchains and all of these tokens and all these projects and this new technology. Relatively, it's new, it's amazing, and this is where I ultimately want to work, or this field. I want to be able to build blockchains and be able to develop some applications on blockchains and services and etc. I can't say that I fully understand this whole system or this whole field because it's a little bit complicated, but I'm trying, I'm learning every day something new, and this field is most interesting to me, so that's why I want to learn like programming to be able to work in that field. The other thing is, what I've known so far is a couple of things about programming. First, I've watched a video about HTML, and it was like 1 hour course on YouTube. It was for free. I will leave the link in the description if you want to check that out. It's for free. But then after I made more research, I found out that I don't know, like nobody's using HTML anymore, or it's not very common, or I don't know. I don't know what's the deal, but everyone was telling me to learn JavaScript, Python, and C++, C sharp, something like that. I don't know. Is it the same language or two different languages? I don't know that yet. So without further ado, we're gonna start with the first learning video. I found this video on YouTube. It's for free, 4.5 hours course from freecodecamp.org. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check that out. But it's totally for beginners, like starting from scratch, know nothing. And I'm gonna start learning from this video and see how it goes. So let's jump into it.
Download Python 2.7.14. So here's the thing about Python. There's actually two major
honestly,
versions.
I watched only the beginning. I downloaded
it's like an old version and it's not being
Python
like actively maintained.
And then I downloaded also the other application, like the
website.
workspace.
It's called jetbrains.com
I downloaded
/PyCharm. And this is the IDE that we're going to be using in this course. So I'm just going to come over here and click this big download now button.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and and this should have everything we need.
I'll also leave these links in the description if you want to find these easier. I'll leave them in the description for you guys.
To get started using Python. All right, when that finishes downloading, I'm just gonna pull that up in my downloads folder, and again, applications folder. All right, so we're ready. In this tutorial, we're gonna create our first.
Yeah, here is like hello world. Obviously, it's very famous.
In this tutorial, we're gonna create our first Python program.
Does it have like a special meaning in programming? I don't know. Pycharm is the environment that we're gonna work in. So I downloaded that, but yet I haven't tried anything yet. It's all new to me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what any of these things mean. Oop. What? If loading variables during debugging takes a long time, you might feel loading time out. Warning messages. Click a switch loading demand link the variable windows to switch the mode when variable are loaded. Here's this request. Okay. Next step, I guess. In live template settings, use speed search to find templates with certain text. In the templates abbreviation, body or description, start typing the desired text, and list of available templates will be shrunk to the show matching temporary only. Okay, thanks. The split change made file between different comments in the comment tool window, Alt and 0. I don't know what that means. Click diff. What is diff? I don't know. Select the checkbox next to each chunk of the modified and new made commit. Current change. Okay. Okay. When choosing live template from suggestions list, press Ctrl Q to view quick documentation to be sure you make the right choice. Right choice of what? To select several ones, press and hold Alt Options and then double click each word you want. I really understand nothing about this. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Next, in PyCharm community, you can configure different copyright notice from different sets of file for convenience. For example, $sign today.year to keep the year up to date. Okay, $sign. In the setting performance dialog, Control Alt S, select editor, copyright file, create new profile, and then it takes your copyright notice using. Okay. Press Ctrl V to select the text fragment that you have previously copied. Okay. The To-Do tool window lets you preview each of the encounter to-do items. Click this window. Okay, I can't find this window. To open file, the editor, practice. Ctrl Shift N, navigate, file. Start typing the inflame, choose from suggestion list. Dude, that's a lot of information and I really don't understand anything. Speed search is available in this free typing. You will quickly locate necessary item. Okay. Type the name of the package that is not currently available in your machine. Quick fix, ignore, unsolved, resolved, hold out. Okay. To make what? Printouts, sorry. To make printouts, file print, next. I'm really gonna close this and I'll go with the tutorial because I don't understand anything. Literally. Okay.
And we're going to be able to run it and see how everything works. The first thing I want to do is open up PyCharm. So PyCharm was the IDE, the integrated development environment that we downloaded in the last tutorial. So I'm just going to go ahead and search for it on my computer.
Yeah.
And I can just open it up. And when we first open up PyCharm, we should basically just get a window prompting us to create a project. So you can see that down here. Actually, the first thing I want to do though is come over here to configure, and I'm just gonna click on preferences, and I actually want to change the appearance. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a theme. So I just went over here to appearance and behavior, appearance, and I'm gonna change the theme to Darkula, just because I think it's a little bit easier to use and look at. Okay. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And so down here, I'm just gonna click create new project. And it's gonna give us this little window right here, so I can just name my project, and I'm just gonna name this draft. And then there's this other option down here where it says interpreter. Now, what we want to select is Python version 3. So if I click down here, you'll notice that there's a couple different options. So I'm on a Mac computer, and by default, Mac has Python version 2 installed on it. If you're on a Windows machine, I'm not sure if it does, but in this tutorial, we're going to be using Python 3. So you want to make sure that you have Python 3 selected as the interpreter. Otherwise, you might not be able to fully follow along with what we're doing in this video. So now I'm just going to come down here and click create, and this is going to go ahead and create our project for us.
Wait. What is this? Open project. Project can either be open in a new window or place the project as currently already opened. Keep it in this window because I don't know which. Yeah. Okay. Let's try this. Is the new. Okay, cool.
All right, so now we have our Python project up and running, and I want to show you guys how we can create our first Python program. So over here in this draft folder, and this is just that project that we created, I'm just going to right click and I'm going to say new, and I'm going to come down and click Python file. So we want to create a new Python file. This will be our first Python program.
Just give me a second. Here, right? You said Python file. Name. Testing 1. I don't know. Main. Did I? Maybe when I downloaded it, I opened this before. I can't remember. It was last week, I think. A couple of days ago. Anyway, let's try to Continue with this too.
And I can just give this a name. So why don't we just call this app? And I'm just gonna click OK. All right, so now we have our first Python file open. And we can just start typing in some Python. So I wanna show you guys just a very basic Python program. And this is just gonna be a hello world program. So we're just gonna print something out onto the screen. So what I wanna do is I wanna type out print, and I wanna type in open and close parentheses. Now, inside of this parentheses, we can make some quotation marks, and inside of the quotation mark.
Wait, let me start with this. Print. Okay, quotation mark.
I'm just gonna type out hello world. So this is like a very basic Python program, and what this is gonna do is it's.
As I said, like I've heard about this hello world a lot of places, so I don't know why it's so famous.
It's just gonna print out hello world onto the screen. And so now what I can do is I can actually run this file, and we're actually getting a little error here. It wants us to create a new line at the end of the file. And so now in order to run our Python program, I'm just gonna come up here to the top, and I'm just gonna click run, and we'll click this run button right here. And now we'll see what happens. So it's asking me what I want to run. I can just click app. And down here at the bottom, you'll notice that we have this text that just got printed out, hello world. And so whatever.
So run. Am I on main? Oh, I'm on the other okay, I'm in the other file right now. I'm not on this thing, I'm on main. Doesn't matter, no? No, I'm in this thing, not on main. So why run? Oh, okay. Here, we found it. Okay.
Whatever I print, or whatever I put inside of this print statement is going to get printed out down below in the console. So as long as you're getting that print statement to work, then you've actually written your first Python program. And as we go forward in the course, we're going to be writing all sorts of awesome Python programs, and we're going to be doing all sorts of cool
stuff.
stuff.
The first program that we just started, drawings and shape.
In this tutorial, I want to talk to you about writing a basic Python program. So we're going to write just a very simple Python program. We're going to look at how we can go ahead and write our programs. We're going to talk about how our programs are getting executed by Python. Yes. And we're also going to draw out a little shape onto the screen.
So what this guy is saying, that we need to write our first program in Python.
This is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited to talk to you guys about just the bare basics of Python and really just sort of give you an introduction. So over here, we have our basic text editor. And so any of the Python code that I write inside of this file is actually going to get executed by Python. So
wait a minute. So we need to delete all of that. Okay.
This Python file has a bunch of Python code inside of it. And basically what we're doing when we're programming in Python is we're just giving the computer a set of instructions, right? That's really what programming is. It's just like we're specifying a set of instructions, and the computer's going to go off and execute those instructions that we give it. Okay. And so the more complex the instructions we give to the computer, the more complex the tasks the computer can carry out. Okay. So I want to show you guys how we can use some Python instructions or some Python code in order to draw out a shape onto the screen. So I'm actually going to draw out a little triangle. So over here, we can actually print something out onto the screen in Python using something called a print statement. So I can just type out print, and inside of these parentheses, I can just type some quotation marks, and inside the quotation marks.
So is this how we write anything? It needs to be print and then quotation mark, right?
We can put whatever we want to print out onto the screen.
Okay.
So I'm gonna copy this, and I'm actually gonna make a few of these little print statements, and we're gonna actually draw a shape. So we're gonna draw like a triangle type shape. So down here, I'm just gonna draw a /, and then up here, I'll make a space, and we'll.
Wait. So, what did I do? Copy, paste. So here. Here, and then here we put some space, and then we put the thing.
do another forward slash. Here we'll make 2 spaces. We'll do another forward slash. And over here, we're going to make 3 spaces and a forward slash.
Oh.
And now...
Okay, here. 2 spaces. Oh, sorry. And here 3. Okay.
Now I'm going to draw like vertical bars going all the way down. And actually, we can do some underscores here as well. That'd be kind of cool.
Where is that? No. Oh, sorry, what did I do? Where is this vertical bar? I don't know how to get it. No, definitely. Here. 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 No. Here. I don't know how to get the vertical bar. Dude. Help. No. 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 Here. No. 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 Where is it? Hello? I really can't find it anywhere. Ha! Found it. And then we're gonna write another one. And then another one. And then another one. Or no, he wrote this way, right? Okay.
All right, so now we have our triangle looking shape, and you can see it looks kind of like a right triangle. So I can save my file, and I can either come up here to run and click run app, or if you're using PyCharm, you can also just come over here and click this play button.
Okay, wait. So now we cool. Here. Oh.
And when I click the play button, I want you to notice what happens down here. So down here, we have this little window, and this is called the console. And basically, the console is just a place where Python is going to output some information. So when we use this print statement, we're basically telling Python, like, hey, can you print something out onto the console? So there's a lot of situations where we're going to want to see what's going on in our code. And we can use that print statement and print things out to the console, and we can basically like have a little window into what our program is doing. In our case, we're just going to be printing out this triangle onto the console.
Okay.
So I'm going to come over here and click this play button, and you'll see down here we're
what did I miss? It says file, I don't know, line 1, print, syntax error, and what? Untreatment is steering literal. Didn't get line. What does that mean? I'm sorry, I really... Oh, okay. Okay, found it, sorry. Ha! Ha! Found it. I deleted this quotation mark by mistake, sorry.
Actually printing out that triangle. Yeah. So mission accomplished, we were able to print out our shape. So I could really draw any shape I wanted as long as I was able to specify it inside of these print statements.
So
essentially what Python's doing when I click that play button is it's going into this file and it's looking at all of these instructions in order. So the first thing it does is it goes to this instruction and it says, okay, they want me to draw out these like little forward slash and this vertical bar onto the screen. Once it does that, it goes down to this instruction. It says, okay, they want me to print something out again. When it prints that out, it goes down to this instruction, etc. So Python is actually going to execute the lines of code that we write in order. So the order in which I write the instructions matters a lot. So for example, if I was to take this last line here and put it up here at the top, now when I save the file, instead of just drawing out that triangle, it's going to draw out this little upside down bottom thing at the top, and then the rest of the triangle down here. So the order of the instructions actually matters a lot. And so this is basically how your Python programs are going to go. As we go through this course, we're going to learn more and more of these little lines. So here we're just using this little print function. Basically, it just prints something out onto the screen. There's a bunch of little things like this that we can learn, and as we go through, we'll learn more and more instructions that we can give to the computer. But in this lesson, I just want to kind of show you guys the basics, right? We can essentially just define these little instructions for the computer, and the computer will execute them in order.
Variables and data types. Cool.
In this tutorial, I want to talk to you guys about using variables in Python. Now, in Python, you're going to be dealing with a lot of data. And so a lot of times in our program, we're going to be working with all types of information and data and values. And sometimes that data can be difficult to manage. So in Python, we have this thing called a variable, and it's basically just a container where we can store certain data values. And when we use a variable, when we put those data values inside containers, it makes it a lot easier for us to work with and manage all of the different data inside of our programs. So variables are extremely helpful, and it's sort of like a core topic in Python that you're really going to want to know and master. So in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys everything you need to know to get started with variables. We're going to look at what they are, why they're useful, and we'll look at the different types of variables and the different types of data that we can store inside of variables. So over here in my Python file, I just have a very simple program, and it's basically just printing some text out onto the screen. And so this is actually a little story that I wrote. It says, there once was a man named George. He was 70 years old. He really liked the name George, but didn't like being 70. So this is a valid Python program. I could go ahead and run this program, and you'll see down here in the console, everything prints out, and it looks great. So we have an awesome little Python program here. But let's say that inside of our story, I wanted to change the character's name. So instead of naming the character George, let's say I wanted to name the character John. Well, I'm going to have to go through and I'm going to have to manually change the name George to the name John at every place inside of this story where it's mentioned. So I'm going to have to go over here and I'll say, okay, John, I'm going to have to manually change that. And then, okay, down here, we're going to have to, again, manually type in John and change it to John. So in order to change the character's name, I had to manually go in and change it in both places. And now let's say, okay, maybe we want to change the character's age also. So in addition to changing the name, we also want to change the age. Let's make him a little bit younger. So why don't we say John is going to be 35.
35.
And so you'll see here I had to come here and manually change the age, and then come down here and manually change it again.
All at once.
Right?
That's what
and now that we changed it, like, it's going to work. It's going to be updated in our program. But you'll notice that in order to make that change, like, I had to look through the entire program, find where that value was, and change it. And this was only with 4 lines of the story. Imagine if I had a story that was like thousands of lines long, and we mentioned the character's name and age like hundreds of times. I mean, I'd have to look through each one of those lines and manually change the character's name. And that is not a very good way for us to do this. And it's really not a good way for us to manage the data in our program, right? The character's name and the age. And so we can actually use a variable in order to store the character's name and the character's age. And when we use that variable, it'll make it a lot easier for us to put the character's name and age inside of our little program here. So I'm going to show you guys how we can create a variable for the character's name and age. And I'm just going to go up here above this print statement, and up here,
can I just try to write, oh, sorry. I'll try to write that down so oh, by the way, why don't we, I'm gonna put some music for both of us so we can listen to some nice music. Yeah, just gonna be in the background. Cool. So, oh, sorry, here, all delete. Say Brent oh, print quotation mark. There is a man called, I don't know, Dudu. Yeah, there is a man called Dudu, don't laugh. Print. I wonder if there's easier way to put this print thing. He was 85 years old. And print. Okay, and here, when he was 70 years old, years old, he got his son had a baby called also Dudu. So the grandma and the grandchild, they both called Dudu. Dudu, the grandpa, was happy and still happy. Was happy about that. Okay.
I want to create a variable. So when we create a variable in Python, we actually need to give Python a couple pieces of information.
Yeah.
The first piece of information we need to give Python is the name of the variable. So I need to actually assign a name to this container where we're going to be storing information. And so all I have to do is just type out the name of the variable that I want to create. So I'm going to create a variable called character name. So I'm just going to say character, and I'm going to say underscore name. And so generally when you're creating a name for a variable in Python, you want to separate different words with an underscore. So I have two words here and I'm separating
like
them with an underscore.
Okay.
And now what I need to do is I need to put a value inside of this variable. So basically what I can do is I can just say equals, and over here I can type a value. So I'm just going to type out the character's name inside of quotation marks. So we're just going to type out John. So now we have a variable for the character's name. And below this character name variable, I want to create another variable called character age. So I'm just going to type out character underscore age, and I'm going to set this equal to the character's age, which is 35. So we now have two variables, one representing the character's name and one representing the character's age. So what I can do now is I can replace the character's name inside of the story with this variable. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So if we want to put a variable inside of this print statement, I'm actually going to have to do a couple things. The first thing I'm going to have to do is...
Wait, just give me a second. Let me understand. So you named... Yeah, you just put some... Okay. Let's say name equal, where is the equal sign? Equal, quotation mark, Dudu. And then age equal, no, space, equal, quotation mark, and 70 or 85. 85. Cool. Okay.
End off this text in here. So I'm going to have to put a quotation marks here at the end. And you can see I'm basically wrapping this whole thing into a single like quoted line.
Okay.
And now I also have this text over here at the end. So I'm going to have to put a quotation mark here. So now I have a bunch of text here in quotation marks, and then I also have text over here in quotation marks. Now inside of here, instead of saying the character's name, I want to refer to that character name variable. So I'm just going to say plus character underscore name, and I want to say another plus sign. So I basically am saying I want to print out all of this text plus the value that's stored inside of character name plus all of this text. And what this will do is it'll actually print out the character.
I understood. Okay, so what do you need to do? What is this? So what he did is, oh, sorry, you put here, comma. And now you want to separate this and to separate this. Okay. And then we will put plus, sorry, plus, yeah.
Character's name when we print this. So I'm gonna,
And we delete doo-doo, we put name. Right?
I'm gonna go ahead and run this program, and you'll see down here.
Let's see. Dude, come on. Why? Come on. What I'm doing wrong? I really don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Invalid syntax. Perhaps you forgot a comma. What about now? Wait, what comma? Which comma? Perhaps you forgot a comma. Which comma?
Here, and actually let me put a space over here, and we'll run it again. So you can see down here, we still
Perhaps you forgot a comma? What do you mean I forgot a comma? I didn't forget a comma. Oh, that's my cat. Hello? Can we go back? I want to see what I've done wrong. Like here, okay. Again. Okay, plus, no, here. Okay, but maybe, what did he do?
Space over here, and we'll run it again. So you can see down here, we still are printing out there once was a man.
I understood, but we need a space here. Run. Oh, it's the same. What about here? Run. It's the same.
And name.
Can
Run it
we
again.
go back?
And you'll see down here, and actually let me put a space over here, and we'll run it again. And you'll see down here.
Before the quotation mark. Okay, let's see. Boom, we got it.
Here, and actually let me put a space over here, and we'll run it again.
Yeah.
So you can see down here, we still are printing out there once was a man named John. And so what Python is doing is when it executes this line of code, it's coming over here and it's seeing, oh, okay, they want to print out the value inside of character name. So Python's going to go up here, it's going to get the value, and it's going to insert it inside of
value, and then
so I can basically do this for every instance of the character name in my file. So I can, I'll just copy this guy right here, and I can just paste it down here where the character's name is.
Oh,
so I'll paste this.
That's it? Just copy and paste? Wait. He said to copy this little dude, right? Copy. And then here, You just paste, right?
And you can see now we're doing exactly the same thing that we did up there. I can also do this.
And then we put comma here. Oh, sorry.
For the character's age. So I'm going to come down here and I'll paste in what we just pasted in. And I'm going to change this. Instead of character name, we'll change it to
Okay, age 85. Age. No, wait. Quotation mark, space, age, space, another quotation mark, right? I hope that's wrong.
character age. And I'm going to do this in one more spot. So we're going to do this over here where we're mentioning the age.
Okay.
And again, I'll just change this to
We only
character
have it for...
age. And so now when I run this program, it's going to print out the same story that we were printing out before. But now I don't actually have to type in.
Wait. I think there's something wrong. No. He was, quotation mark. He's... First of all, it's he is. Oh, we forgot the dude. Plus. That's what we're forgetting. So you need to put a plus so it understands that this is a different
the
thing.
Character's name and the character's age. I can just refer to this variable. And the cool thing about variables is if I wanted to change the character's name, now all I have to do is change it up here. So I could change the character's name to like Tom or something. And we could also change.
Okay, let's try. Instead of do, put it Tom. And instead of 85, let's put it, I don't know, 50. Like 90. Okay, run. Oh, dude! That's so cool. But we put space here. And then another space here. See how it goes. Perfect. Dude, that's cool.
Change their age. So I could change the age to be like 50. And now that's going to automatically update throughout our entire story. So when I click this play button, you'll see now we're using the name Tom and he's 50 years old. So that's where variables can come in handy. This can be a really awesome way to control and manage the data that's inside of our programs.
And then
with variables, you can also modify their values. So for example, let's say that halfway through the story, I wanted to change the character's name. Well, I can just make some new lines over here. And down here, I can actually assign a new value to one of these variables. So I could say like
we can change
character underscore name. And in order to give it a different value, all I have to do is just say equals and we'll give it a different value. So let's say halfway through the story, we want to change the character's name to Mike.
Halfway of the story.
Well, now when
oh. Wait. This is so interesting. Let's say name equal quotation mark. It was Tom. Let's put it Alex. My name's Alex. Pleasure to meet you, sir, ma'am. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button.
I run on my program. You'll see here in the first part of the story, it says there once was a man named Tom. And in the second part of the story, it's referring to the name as Mike.
Let's see.
So I actually updated the variable inside of my program over here.
And the second one is
and
Alex.
That's a really awesome way. You know, a lot of times in these programs, you're going to want to be modifying the values of variables. And so you can do it just like that. And so finally, I want to talk to you guys about the different types of data that we can store inside of these variables.
Yeah.
So over here, I have the character name and the character age. And I'm actually storing what are called strings. So a string is basically just plain text, right? So the name Tom, that's just plain text.
How is that going to help me
down here,
building
these guys
the
are strings as well.
blockchain?
So there's a data type in Python called a string, and it's just basically going to store plain text. So, you know, any text that you would have like in a story or, you know, someone's name, you can store inside of a string. There's also another type of data that we can store inside of Python, which is numbers. So in addition to storing text, we can also store numbers.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to store a number,
numbers,
for example,
that's
let's say we wanted to store the character age instead of inside of a string, we could store it inside of a number. So I could just type out 50. And when we're storing a number, we don't need these quotation marks. You only need that quotation mark when you're storing a string. So if I wanted to store a number, I can just write it out like this. And in addition to using whole numbers, I could also use decimal numbers. So I could say like 50.5678213. And Python's gonna be able to store that number as well. So you can store.
So we can here get rid of these quotation mark and still is gonna work, right? Let's see. No, dude, it didn't work. Wait.
For all different types of numbers, and we can also store what's called a Boolean value. And a Boolean value is essentially a true or a false value. And there's a lot of...
Wait, it didn't work. That was a lie. I'm sorry, but it didn't work. Did I do something wrong? I mean, I literally just deleted the quotation mark, but it did not work. Do you see that?
Instances in programming where we're going to want to represent true or false data. For example, I could have a variable called like is male, and this would tell me whether or not someone was a male. And in my case, it would be true because I'm a guy, right? So I can, actually this needs to be capital. So I could store a value of either true or false. And actually, if we were naming this in Python, we'd want to use an underscore. So I would say is underscore male, and this can be either true or false. So true or false values is maybe not something that you're used to dealing with like in the real world, but in programming, we're going to be using true or false values all the time. They're super important.
True or false values, okay. Since we're going to use them a lot, according to this guy, so we need to learn them. So is underscore male, right? That's what he wrote. And then equals true, right? True. Okay. Is underscore female equal false. Okay.
So, like I said, there's three basic types of data that we can work with in Python. There's strings, which is just like plain text, numbers, which would be like either decimal numbers or whole numbers like this, and there's true or false values. And these are the basic types of data. I mean, there's a bunch of other types of data that we can use, but I would say 99% of the time as a new user and a new programmer to Python, you're just going to be dealing with these three types of data. So those are the basics of the data, and also with variables, and you're going to be using variables all the time in Python, so you definitely want to practice up and get comfortable using them.
Okay. So guys, I think let's wrap it up for today. I don't want to go for like so much each day because I want to take it slowly, step by step. I don't want to get bored or so frustrated that I don't understand what's going on. That's why I just want to go like one by one. Maybe I'll go for another live or like another session in like 2-3 hours. I'm not sure yet, but again, I don't wanna take it so fast, and then I feel frustrated about it. So I just want to take it slowly, one by one, baby steps, and then we can go through the thing. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's gonna help me a lot. And if you have any advice, anything I can follow, just please let me know in the comments below. Thanks.